Hello, welcome to this update for the severe weather. Today, June 15th. So, we still have this slight risk left over from yesterday, spots of the plains into the high plains, and still a severe thunderstorm watch in Oklahoma. So, still be careful in those areas, but the actual day one today for Sundays, this enhanced risk spots of North and South Dakota, Wyoming, into Montana, in those areas for this afternoon and evening. Sunday, there's this light risk from Montana to Colorado, and this marginal from Texas to Montana. This other margin on the East Coast as well, a few spots of the Ozarks and spots in between. So we do have some big chances for like hail, spots of Montana for a couple instances of 2 inch or larger, Montana to northern Wyoming, the 15% all the way from Kansas to Montana, and the 5%. There's this 5% on the East Coast as well, but the wind is like the enhanced risk for Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and spots of Wyoming. So some damaging gusts possible, some instances of 75 to 80 mile per gust possible. So stay safe in those areas, be careful, and the rest of the 5% true. And tornado threat is just a 2% for now, but in case there are any changes later, we'll put in the YouTube posts there. So stay tuned for that and stay tuned to this website, the link in the description. But we have a 2% now from Colorado to central Montana, spots of Nebraska, North, South Dakota, and to Wyoming. So be careful in those areas today. Also in Virginia, North Carolina, be aware in those areas too. So we do have like scared severe thunderstorms capable of large, very large hail, and soft to damaging wind gusts possible across parts of Montana into northeast Wyoming, parts of western Dakota this afternoon and evening. Additional strong to severe storms may occur across central southern high plains and parts of Virginia and North Carolina. So stay safe in those areas for today, Sunday, and be careful. For Monday, day 2, we already have an enhanced risk for June 16th for Monday. So that shows some spots of Wisconsin, western Wisconsin, to much of central southern Minnesota and South Dakota as well. So be careful those areas tomorrow. And there's like this light risk as well from Wyoming to Wisconsin, and this marginal risk. So stay safe in those areas. We already have a more elevated tornado threat tomorrow, around 5% in Minnesota to Wisconsin and South Dakota. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful, have some ways to receive warnings, and like there's the 2% as well from far eastern Wyoming to Wisconsin. So there's the hail part of the enhanced risk, spots of Minnesota towards South Dakota and Nebraska, and the hatched area for very large hail possible. So stay safe, northern Iowa as well. And there's this bigger 5%, goes all the way from Texas to Montana, as far east as the UP of Michigan. So be careful. Wind is 15 and 5%, so be careful. Some damaging gusts, some of those storms as well. So let's see here, scared severe thunderstorms, large to very large hail and wind damage are expected Monday from central, north central high plains and southeastward to the upper Mississippi Valley. Outside of this, marginal severe storms possible across much of north, central, northern US. So stay safe in those areas too. So be careful. And before we see Tuesday, let's see like the storms here. So the herd does show those storms still in Oklahoma now. Some more this afternoon in the mid-south, some showers and storms. But those more like severe storms start in central Montana into Wyoming, those areas by this evening, this afternoon. So show Sunday into Monday, especially like this is still this evening, so don't get fooled by this. This still like late this evening. Show spots of Nebraska, South Dakota, into North Dakota, Montana, especially those damaging winds in eastern Montana. You can see the stronger storms. So stay safe in those areas. This goes still strong storms tonight and like this doesn't go as far out as Monday afternoon yet, but there'll be stronger storms definitely. So be careful in those areas and like stay safe. There's the zero Z as well, but it doesn't go much further than this. So be careful those areas. There's the Cape. The show this afternoon, like as far north as North Dakota, to 3,000 joules per kilogram in a few spots. So please be careful with that. A lot of Jewish energy for those storms. Shows in Colorado and to Kansas, close to 4,000, like 3,500. A few spots in Montana, more than 2,500 joules per kilogram, and even northern Wyoming. So stay safe in those areas. Please be careful. Monday still shows back towards the Midwest with southern Minnesota close to 3,000 or even more than 3,000 joules per kilogram. So stay safe in those areas. There's a lot of energy. So it does show like if these loads, because here, so Montana, so if I put like north here, so northwest better to see most of Montana. So the herd that does have some very damaging winds east of Montana to North Dakota, the storms this evening. So it does show some instances of 75 to 80 mile per gusts, and even some spots in black there that they might be even close to 90 mile per gust. So stay safe those storms, be careful, and yeah, so secure important things that might fly away and stay safe. This goes, and like the rest of the US, nothing too crazy. A few instances of some high gusts in Texas or New Mexico, but nothing too crazy. But those storms in Nebraska might have some stronger ones too. So stay safe in those areas. There's this significant tornado parameter this evening. Let's see if it shows something. So it doesn't show much. It shows a finger or two in South Dakota, but like that's very little. And there's layer 23Z, shows like northern South Dakota, some very minor parameters, nothing to be concerned about. But later does increasing in eastern North Dakota by the evenings those storms come by. So just be aware in those areas for a quick spin up possible. So stay safe and be careful. There's this relative realistic as well for today. So this doesn't go the full evening, but it does show like until 1Z. So it does show southern Montana, a few spots there, also into Nebraska. So stay safe. Let's see if the zeros is here, because I want to see further out in this. So here we can get a better picture, like southern Montana, a few spots into North Dakota, shows those very big tracks, some very strong storms. So stay safe in those areas, especially for hail with this. A few spots in Colorado to Nebraska. So stay safe, be careful in those areas. And for today across southern Canada, does show spots of Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba, a severe storm or two possible as well, especially in Alberta. Some hail, damaging winds possible. That 90 means some storms might have wind gusts close to 90 km per gusts as well. Some hail 2 to 4 centimeters, and a few spots in southern Saskatchewan 1 to 2 centimeter hail plus 70 to 90 km per gust in some storms. So stay safe in those areas too, and yeah, so be careful. In Ontario, nothing crazy. In the Atlantic area, a storm or two, but nothing too important. Yukon, British Columbia, more southern British Columbia, a thing or two might be stronger, but nothing that crazy. So be aware, and especially in the prairies, be careful. So this was issued yesterday, so this is day one today, listed as day two here. So stay safe in those areas. Just for reference here, the herd does show as well like spots of southern Saskatchewan. As you can see here, some stronger storms southern Alberta and also Manitoba, a finger or two there as those initial storms fire. So stay safe in those areas and be careful too. So here for day 3, for Tuesday, still shows a slight risk from Colorado to Iowa. So be careful in those areas. This marginal risk across spots of Wyoming towards all the way south to Texas and all the way east to Wisconsin. So be careful. Still 5-15% probabilistic and a marginal further east as well. So stay safe in those areas. Thunderstorms isolate large hail and wind damage threat to be possible Tuesday across parts of Central Plains and lower Missouri Valley. And outside this area, marginal severe storms may develop over parts of central U.S. and isolated severe threats expected along parts of the Central Appalachians, Mid-Atlantic. So be aware for Tuesday as well, just in case. Wednesday looks kind of bigger for June 18th, spots of the Midwest from Missouri to Michigan. So we gotta watch closely by Wednesday as that system lifts north towards the Midwest. So we have that 15% there. For Thursday, day 5, this shifts towards the northeast, the Mid-Atlantic. So 15% in the Mid-Atlantic on day 5 is not that common. So we gotta watch this closely as well. Shows like day 6, 7, 8, nothing. So be aware. For Wednesday, a mid-level trough forecast to move through the upper Midwest on Wednesday, and as the cold front advances southeastward into the lower Missouri, mid-Mississippi valleys ahead, the front moderate instability is forecast to develop by the afternoon. Thunderstorms appear likely to form on parts of the front, with several cluster line segments moving eastward towards the instability axis during the late afternoon to early evening. Moderate deep layer shear should support severe storms, large hail, and wind damage as primary threats. So the mid-level troughs forecast move to the lower Great Lakes, Upper Ohio Valley Thursday, day 6, as the cold front advances into the Central Appalachians as the air mass ahead of the front destabilizes. Thursday is day 5, I'm right, because Wednesday is day 4, so yeah, Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday is day 5. So as the air mass ahead of the front destabilizes, scare clusters are expected to form along and ahead of the front. The model suggests a moderate deep layer shear being placed across much northeastern west, which will likely support organized clusters that damage winds to be the most likely severe threat. But I would watch for tornadoes through day 4 and day 5. So be careful in those areas. Be aware that this is coming. So stay safe in those areas. And here for like the GFS, it does show for Monday, so Wednesday. This is good. Let's see. So especially Wednesday later at 12C shows some moderate cape in those areas in the Midwest and stability that they were talking about. So better watch for this for the severe storms. But further up does show like those areas of 500 millibars, slightly more wind as the trough comes in further into the Midwest. So better watch this closely. And then for Thursday, that's Friday, 12C. So let's just go back here because good. So Friday, a little bit further back. Thursday. So this about like Thursday night, those areas does show slightly stronger flow at 500 millibars. So we'll keep watching, but be aware those areas. Just for context, the European model here shows like Tuesday, those storms in the plains, some very strong storms Tuesday evening in the plains. Wednesday, this pulls right into that area there in the Midwest. And then Thursday shows like later Thursday evening, the Mid-Atlantic, and also into Canada. So be aware Thursday, this goes and like, so stay safe, those areas, be careful. And here, for the, let's talk about the rain first and then the heat. So there's until 12C, this light risk Montana spots the Mid-Atlantic for excessive rainfall. But for Sunday, day one, there's this tiny moderate risk North Carolina to Virginia, so be careful, some flooding in those areas there, especially northeastern North Carolina into southeastern Virginia. So stay safe. There's this light risk as well, slight risk in the Ozarks and spots of Oklahoma to Missouri and Kansas too, and Arkansas, Louisiana. Also this light risk in the upper Midwest, in Iowa, into Minnesota, and North, South Dakota, and Nebraska. So be careful. For Monday, marginal risk spots to the Midwest, Northern Plains, and spots to the south into the East Coast. Day 3 for Tuesday, slight risk the Midwest again. Wednesday, marginal the Midwest, and Thursday still going further east. So stay safe in those areas. There's a few peaks here of rainfall into like the mid-Atlantic, close to 3 inches in a few spots. More into like the West Virginias and 2 to 3 inches, especially in the Midwest, like in Iowa, close to 4 inches next 7 days in a few spots. And there's another topic here when it comes to the tropics. Mexico is picking up more than 7 inches next 7 days, so we're still watching for some lower pressure in the Bay of Campeche later south in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, but still nothing evident. It's a very low chance, but we're only watching like the Eastern Pacific now, but still better watch the southwestern Gulf just to be sure. But the concern there is like maybe some flooding in eastern Mexico next week possible. So just for context, but let's see the heat here now. So does show a few spots in the southwest, still just some extreme heat risk, a few spots of southern New Mexico and Arizona. So be careful in those areas. More major into spots of Texas and California too. And then we'll have a situation, this heat dome will move further east into the southeast layer. So starting next week, this heat progresses further into New Mexico and Texas, some extreme. Tuesday, Texas and Oklahoma, some major heat risk in New Mexico, and starting in the Carolinas there as well. Wednesday, Virginia into North Carolina, South Carolina, some major heat risk, but still present along the west as well. And Thursday, a big portion of the southeast, mid-Atlantic, some major heat risk. Friday might be still in the southeast, but moves into the plains. And next Saturday, a very big area of major heat risk possible later on. So we'll keep watching this closely as well. But for today's spots of the southwest, we still have those very high temperatures, like to 113 near Phoenix, 112 spots in Arizona. So stay safe in those areas, spots of Southern California, close to 115 degrees between Arizona and California. I bet some low-lying valleys might be even to 116 or 17, especially that valley, more to 120. So be careful, some spots of Utah into Colorado in the lower elevations, and those show just some hundreds near New Mexico into Texas. So be careful in those areas. The show still during the night, slightly lower in the northwest, extreme northeast and far east, and especially in the Cascades. But for Monday afternoon, the show again to 112, maybe to 113, 14, southernmost California, a few spots. Some A is near Los Angeles, and in the valleys, some 90. So be careful, some 90s in the southeast as well. So the show here, why did I click everything? So here for day 2, Monday morning, the show slightly colder in the higher parts of the Sierra Nevada, but nothing crazy, that's relatively mild. So the show day 3, very hot still in southern Arizona, spots of Southern California, especially to Texas and New Mexico, close to 110 in New Mexico, some 90s the southeast and the Midwest as well. So for Tuesday morning, colder Wyoming, the Rockies, Montana, spots of Colorado, but still to Wednesday afternoon, the 18th, more 90s across the east, southeast, and some hundreds near Texas still, but still to 110, 111 the southwest. Some low-lying spots might be even higher, so be careful still throughout next week. Still slightly colder in the upper mountains, but still kind of hot during the night in the south as well. But for next Thursday, still 90s in the southeast and the east coast, and more 100s across the interior west. In Utah, in Nevada as well, spots of low-lying areas in Colorado. So especially in Arizona, close to 113 again, 112, 110. So stay safe in the plains, some upper 90s as well. And does show spots of Oregon, slightly colder Thursday morning, June 19th, but Thursday afternoon still shows like this is Friday afternoon because the order is mixed up here. So this is Friday afternoon, June 20th, shows to 103 in Kansas, so potentially that heat building there as well. Later next week shows 210 the southwest still, and like in some 90s the southeast. Next day, like Saturday afternoon, still 100 in the southwest, slightly below average in the northwest, but those upper 90s to 100 building the plains. So be careful, like Friday morning, the ice skipped does show slightly colder in the northwest. So be aware in those areas does show slightly windier few spots in the mountains, but nothing too crazy, just slightly breezier. So be aware those spots there. So here still shows for the Eastern Pacific. There's tropical storm Dalila and this new area there of investigation. So invest 94E recent satellite derived data indicate multiple surface circulations associated with tropical wave located offshore of the Pacific coast Costa Rica. System continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms along the coast of El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica, and adjacent offshore waters. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development of the low. Tropical depression could form by the middle to end of next week while moving westward, west-northwestward offshore the coast of El Salvador, Guatemala, and southeastern Mexico. So 60% chance right next 7 days, 30% 2 days. So we'll keep watching that. There's still tropical storm Dalila we talked yesterday there in Mexico. So it's slightly further from Mexico now. Thus the main area of tropical storm force winds, but still some tropical storm warnings remain in the coast of Mexico. But the wind field is slightly smaller today, so be aware those areas still some tropical storm force winds close to the coast with some rough surf, and there show like some key messages still. So, las bandas exteriores da tormenta tropical Dalila traen lluvias fuertes localmente en estados mexicanos de Michoacán, Guerrero. Hasta esta mañana se esperan las áreas dispersas de inundaciones, deslizamientos de tierra, especialmente en áreas de terreno empinado cerca de la costa. Se espera que Dalila produzca vientos de fuerza tormenta tropical a través de porciones de aviso durante las próximas horas. Los vientos disminuirán hoy mientras el sistema se mueve más lejos en la costa sueste de México. So still be careful, there's some heavy rains, strong winds in the next few hours, but it's already moving away. But still some 50 to 100 millimeters possible. So stay safe in those areas. Still shows this rain there spots of Mexico, Central America next 5 days. And today I'll change this precipitation colors here because I'm not liking this. So that shows spots of southern Mexico to even 300 millimeters next 5 days, mainly because of the other system forming the Eastern Pacific that they might get closer to southern Mexico. So this might potentially be danger for flooding those areas. So until Wednesday, still nothing. Wednesday, Thursday, this builds. Next Thursday to next Friday, the European has it hitting southern Mexico. So the next 7 days shows it climbing further into the Gulf, that moisture, not the system, but the moisture will go further into the Gulf. And then we'll watch if it tries to do something or not. But it does show spots of Mexico next 7 days, more than 200 millimeters. Spots of western Mexico to 200 as well. more than 300 if this hits southern Mexico, and next 5 days in Nicaragua shows more than 150 millimeters in Honduras, especially central, east, and southern Honduras into Nicaragua. In Costa Rica, close to 100 as well. So stay safe. But next 8 days shows even more than 200 in Nicaragua, into Belize, more than 200, big part of Guatemala. So be careful during the next week and 2 weeks there with these storms. So stay safe. Caribbean shows, especially Trinidad and Tobago, some more showers and storms, but some shower storms further north in the eastern Caribbean too. The far north is quiet, northeastern Caribbean, but these areas further south, more showers and storms. Next 9 days does show close to 100 millimeters, even more in Trinidad and Tobago. So better watch long term in those areas as well. But shows a few showers in Cuba, Bahamas, and a few thunderstorms in Jamaica, Dominican Republic, into Cuba. So be aware, but especially the Eastern Pacific, those areas there. So we'll keep watching. There's like the current storms, there's Dalila, still some heavy rain in Mexico. This goes out to sea there. But there's this new invest near Central America, and does show like some intensity guidance is showing like tropical storm for now. So this might quickly become a tropical storm next week. Most models have it here in southern Mexico. So if you are in those areas of southern Mexico, now's the time to make plans and potentially prepare. I'm not saying this will form 100%, but it already has a 60% chance of forming. And most of the models are here in southern Mexico. So now's the time to prepare, because you still have many days until this happens. So even the GFS, the Canadian, are going towards southern Mexico. So better watch this, and shows here like, let's just put the whole map here like North Atlantic, that we can see the Eastern Pacific as well. So shows this tries to form there. The GFS is kind of weak for now, but it does form a tropical storm by June 19th and goes into southern Mexico. But it doesn't form anything in the Gulf. It just forms more the Eastern Pacific layer. There's the icon. It starts forming this next week and goes a week storm to southern Mexico. There's the Canadian that was showing something in the Gulf yesterday, but the Canadian also hit southern Mexico, and today it's not showing anything in the Gulf. So there's the European shows like something weak starts forming there, and does manage to become a tropical storm into southern Mexico. So if you are in those areas, watch very closely. But the chance of something in the Gulf now is very, very little, barely nothing. So we'll keep watching and be aware, just making sure there's nothing we are missing here for like the European. So it does show most ensembles in the Eastern Pacific, but it does show a few rogue members into the Gulf. That's very little support, but it's something worth watching too. The GFS just remains weak in the Eastern Pacific, and some like very weak rogue members in the southwestern Gulf, so it's not showing much either. But be aware, those areas. Just checking the warnings very quick here. That shows some flash flood and thunderstorm warnings in Oklahoma now. Shows some extreme heat warnings the southwest, red flag warnings, a few spots heat advisories in the southwest, the first ever heat advisory in Alaska. Congratulations, but it might get even close to 80 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit a few afternoons there. And don't know where those flood watches northern Alaska, and some flood watches near the east coast as well. So stay safe in those areas, be aware. It does show here this fire danger to spots of Nevada into California today, Sunday. so be careful in those areas, and still critical across Nevada into Arizona and Utah tomorrow. So be careful, some bigger fire danger and elevated across a big area tomorrow for Monday as well. So be careful. Still, the day 3, 2 areas across the southwest critical. Day 3 and day 4. So Tuesday, Wednesday, be careful. Some fire danger in those areas. And here shows like just checking if there's anything else in Canada. There's that snow in Nunavut, those storms southwestern Canada. Next week, be careful in Ontario and Quebec. A few stronger storm systems and some heavy rain, especially Thursday, southern Ontario, Wednesday afternoon, the 18th. So and into Thursday as well. So we gotta watch Canada next week, potentially even the week after is showing important stuff. But just until next Friday, those storm systems into eastern Canada at the end of next week, and some rogue storms on the west, like now into early next week. So be aware in those areas. That snow northern Nunavut, some heavier snow northern Quebec still, and a few portions in the Rockies. So be aware, but especially Nunavut into Quebec shows some stronger winds there now as well. So be careful, some light blizzard conditions with some snow there, even slightly gustier middle southern U.S. next week. Some of those winds as this progresses, but be aware. Monday afternoon, nothing crazy, but slightly breezier in spots might promote that fire threat. So be aware. Still colder northern, northeastern Canada and the Rockies, but slightly warmer, especially in Alaska. They have those heat advisories there, spots of northwestern territories, and yeah, much warmer southern Canada, slightly milder there too, but still during the night, slightly colder a few areas further north.